New York City's Columbia University may be known as an Ivy League school, but recently it has been earning a new reputation as a forum for far-left thought, where opposing viewpoints are intimidated into silence. For example, in 2003, the school was the site of a faculty quote-unquote teach-in. That's where one professor called for 1 million Mogadishus to be inflicted upon our troops. Last month, representatives of the Minuteman Project were invited to speak on campus, where they were forced from the stage by angry, chanting protesters. And last year, a Columbia student who is also a Marine reservist was subjected to a withering verbal attack by members of the school's International Socialist Organization. Joining us now with his story is Matt Sanchez. Matt, thank you for being here. Thanks for
pleasure to be here.
For all you do. Your story is incredible here because you were called a baby killer, and you said you were stupid because you're a minority who joined the military.
That's correct. That's correct.
Tell us the whole story.
We had a group of ISO students who came up to this table. I was visiting a table called the Hamilton Society. It was Activities Day, and this was a Columbia-sponsored event. This group came up and started screaming and shouting, and in the middle of it all, they said that minorities are being used and exploited by the military. I said, I'm a minority, and I joined the military. Everyone at that table, in fact, was a minority. The people shouting at us weren't minorities. And they said, that's because you're too stupid. You're too stupid to realize that you're being used by the military.
It's mind-numbing to me. Now, because I know a lot of guys, I've interviewed guys, I've been in Walter Reed and interviewed guys that lost their limbs and want to still go back and serve because they love their country, they believe in the cause and the fight for freedom. This has now become a regular thing, insulting the military, insulting the choice of going into the military. You got John Kerry's comments, Charlie Rangel's comments. What do you think is going on? What are they thinking that they would say something like that?
You know, I think part of it for the students is that they don't meet the military at all. And the other part with Rangel and Kerry, with them, those guys have really benefited from being in the military. And I don't understand why they can't show some gratitude as well as they can complain, but show some gratitude.
You know what my hypothesis is? I think they are so driven by their agenda, and we can all disagree on the war, but I think they're so driven by that they almost get blinded, and that to attack the mission, they attack the people that are putting themselves in harm's way, ultimately out of love and selflessness for us.
I agree, and it's a no holds barred. They'll do anything to get their point across. But even worse was Columbia's reaction to the incident.
What kind of impact does that have on you? I mean, there's such harshness there, stupidity, baby killer. What impact does that have on you?
It was depressing. It was depressing that Columbia did nothing to support anything. I mean, they didn't follow through. These people weren't punished at all. In fact, it was the same group that day that came up the next year and did the Minuteman
First of all,
Project. Yes, sir.
We might disagree about Rangel and Kerry. I don't think attacked the military. They attacked the people running this war. They didn't attack the rank and file.
I guess
we'll disagree about that.
One.
And John Kerry did a lousy joke, which he admits. Monique Dawes is one of the women who was at the table you went and had that animated discussion with. She denies any kind of harassment. She says it wasn't personal. It was a debate about the issues. Was it not?
Well, when you talk about something being personal, this is something that this group, the ISO, does. They dehumanize people in order to get their agenda across. For her, at that point, I agree. It probably wasn't personal. She didn't know me at all.
Right.
But
look, if you should not be denigrated because of your ethnic background. You should not be denigrated for being in the military.
Sure, I'm proud to be Puerto Rican. I'm proud to be a Marine.
But if somebody does say that to you, and I don't agree with that sentiment, but if they do say that to you, is that free speech?
It's free speech on one end. Columbia does have rules against this. This was a Columbia-sponsored event. And on top of that, they did absolutely nothing, despite supposedly they had some kind of, they looked into the matter and absolutely nothing happened.
Okay, but is it okay to have a debate about should you be in the military, should you not be in the military? Is this the proper thing to do at this time, given this war?
You can debate it, sir, but this was a one-sided argument. These people were just screaming and shouting at us.
All right, maybe I wasn't there. I don't know what their behavior is like. Maybe it wasn't good behavior. But what do you want out of this? What do you want to see happen?
What I want to see, well, the big thing is after this, I got emails from people throughout the country saying pretty much the same thing, that they were on their campuses and they had problems with both the faculty, the administration, and other students.
Right.
So what I want from this is to get the word out that this is something, this isn't cool, even if Columbia University isn't going to say that.
What do you want Columbia to do? Do you want Columbia to say you can't say certain things to people?
Not.
Where do you draw the line? What's permissible, what's not permissible?
I want Columbia to treat all students equally. Right now, veterans on Columbia's campus are second-class students.
Yeah.
Right.
Matt,
Thank
you're a great American. Thank you for your
sir.
service to your country, and Semper Fi, my friend.
Semper Fi.
Appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.